Hey, what's going on? Not too long ago, Elon Musk got into the shooting rockets into space game. And, it's really easy to look at that guy, all the different things that he does. He's got the Boring Company, he's got, Tesla, of course, he's got all that different stuff. And it's really easy to look at him and think, oh, he started that way, that he's always that way. That Elon, somehow or the other, he's special. Look at all the cool stuff he's doing. Of course he's special, right? Not only is he special, but he's rich. And it is really easy to think that. It's easy to think that about superstars, Michael Jordan. You think about Michael Jordan and he's doing all that stuff. I could never do that, right? You hear that in your mind. I hear that in my mind. It's like, oh, that could never be me. Today I want to talk about why that is and why it's important to question that, right? And so, when you see the Elon Musks and the Michael Jordans and Jeff Bezos with his, I don't even know how much money that guy's worth, and his cars and his yacht and all these different things, it's really easy, if we're not paying attention, to feel like that could never be us, that somehow or the other we aren't special, and that if we tried to be special and start trying to do those kinds of things, that it's going to be hard, that it's almost outside of our abilities. And that's not true, right? There's nothing, obviously if you don't have, if you have particular issues, you're missing a leg, or you don't have arms, you're stuck in a wheelchair, there are definitely things that can make life more challenging. But within the scope of your capability, as a normal, quote unquote, fully functioning human, and the thing is even despite all that, there are people doing amazing things, the absolute, fullest potential you could possibly expect, without arms, without legs. So it's up here that's the thing, right? All of us normal humans walking around with legs and arms, and we can talk, and and we're the ones sometimes that, for whatever reason, we don't do near our capability. I remember reading in the book about Lance Armstrong, and he had just gotten his cancer diagnosis, and somebody, like a cancer survivor, sent him a note that was like, welcome to the club, we're so fortunate, like something to that effect. And he was just learning, and he hadn't gone through all of the cancer treatment and all those different things. I don't know what you think about Lance Armstrong. Obviously he's kind of a polarizing figure, but some of the things that he did, regardless, the story of Lance Armstrong and how he got to to be this world famous incredible athlete is worth reading. But that one thing about how somebody sent him a note and was like, basically, welcome to the club, because all the things that we once thought were important were going to get stripped away. And, obviously that's a hard way to learn that. But what I'm trying to say is that we are incredibly capable of doing many, many things. And we let our minds, I let my mind often, through my 53 years of life, dictate what is possible. See, the thing is, the mind only knows the past. That's it. So whenever you start to do something and your mind is like, that's never going to work, 9 times out of 10, it's just telling you what has been in the past. And it's up to us to navigate that, to understand that the mind's job is to keep us safe and, essentially not die, so that we can, pass on our genes, etc., evolutional concepts. So in many instances, your mind is protecting you from a danger that isn't real, especially when you're talking about, the feeling that comes when you decide that you want to, start that new career business. You've got this mountain that you're trying to get up, whatever it is. You're trying to start the new habit or break the habit. Talked about that yesterday. Check that video out if you like, about how to break habits and how habits work. But so your mind is in some instance protecting you from this, danger that doesn't actually exist. And the crazy thing is, some people rate getting up on stage as like worse than like getting in a car wreck or something. Like, I just can't relate, right? Because I've been playing music for all of my life for the most part. So the idea of being nervous on camera or in front of people, I can't even like comprehend. But for some people, getting in front, like just doing this live right here with like, some people in a tizzy. But my point is that our minds often tell us that we're incapable, that it's not going to work. And it's up to us to make the decision to say, no mind, I'm doing this. Obviously, if it, is actually dangerous, you're going to try to fly off of a cliff or something, then, your mind is right. But, within the realm of known reality and good sense, your limitations are often unknown to your mind. Like, I was in the Navy for 20 years, and sort of the epitome of this truth are the SEALs. When they decided that they were going to create the SEALs way back when, the guy that, was the beginner of that program said that he wanted every SEAL to be able to do 10 times more than he thought possible. And so they constructed that program to make it so that only the best of the best, the people that actually could embody that idea. And I always think about that because, in any limits, in any situation that you're in where you're like, oh, can I handle this? I always think back, whether it's cold, whether it's heat, whether it's exertion, I always think back and I say, there must be something that I'm capable of in this situation that I'm just not aware of. And then I step back and I assess. 9 times out of 10, if you can step back and assess, then you'll realize that you have agency, that you are not powerless. 9 times out of 10, you're not powerless. If nothing else, you have the power to choose how you respond to things. You have the power to choose to step back and evaluate, not get overwhelmed, right? So we always have that power. And I'm not saying it's easy, not at all. Everything takes practice. Everybody is where they are in their progression. I'm saying it's possible. Every success, every positive influence in your life is telling you that it's possible. Nobody said it's easy. It's possible. So going back to what we were talking about with Elon Musk and this sort of automatic response that we have sometimes that, oh, that could never be me. Well, that response is usually coming from the automatic mind. The automatic mind is the mind that sort of takes over when you're not actively thinking about something. So that means that for all intents and purposes, your automatic mind is at least 80% responsible for you and running you in your life. So that's why I'm talking about that's why I'm talking about this now. Because nobody tells us that we need to manage this stuff. Like when I was 20 years old, I had no idea. When I was 30 years old, I had no idea. And then at some point, I started learning all these different things. I had this near suicidal breakdown, and then I got real involved in all these different things and started learning. But you may not know that, all thoughts are not your own. You can manage your mind, make a determination what's important, what's not, sort of be who you choose to be. And when it comes to the automatic mind, that's kind of important, especially when it comes to how you see possibility, which is really what we're talking about. When you see these people doing this amazing stuff and your automatic mind, because you're like, making macaroni or whatever it is, and you're watching your video while you're doing your macaroni, and you see this picture of Elon Musk doing this amazing stuff, and just for a second your automatic mind pops in and says, that could never be you. And then you feel bad, like, oh, you're right, and just go with it, right? Question it. Is that true? That's not true. I'm here to tell you it's not true. Even if you don't know, I'm here to tell you it's not true. The same mind that discovered fire, that got a man to the moon, is essentially the one you're carrying around in your head. You're absolutely capable of great things. It's just that we have to manage our mind. We have to manage our fear. We have to notice our fear. How's it feel? How's it feel when you're fearful? When you start getting oh, this is a big dream, this is a big thing. Feel that. feel it, and then move past it. Because that's what the superstars, that's what the Elon Musks, that's what everybody who has ever spoken on their success will tell you. That they felt the fear and they did it anyway. That's the secret. Feeling the fear and doing it anyway. That's it. That's as simple as it gets. Nobody is above the fear. It's just that at some point, sometimes earlier in life, sometimes later in life, they realize that there's this other point past that fear. And they step across that line and they do big things. And then they realize that fear on the other side is where life happens. And so that's what I'm telling you. Feel the fear. People are like, oh my God, the fear, and they want it to go away. But the truth is, it never goes away. I think it's Frank Sinatra that's famous for saying every day when he got up on stage, before he did, he hurled in the bucket. Might not be Frank Sinatra, but it's one of them. It was one like, is Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, one of them. I'm older. I'm 53. So maybe you know who Frank Sinatra is. Maybe you don't. But the point is that, he had a bucket. He hurled in it. Then he went out and did his thing. So the fear doesn't ever go away. Our response to the fear can go away. So manage your mind. Pay attention to which mind is working. Question thoughts that proclaim your inability at every turn. And one of the ways you can kind of notice when that's happening is when you're like, I feel bad. I feel powerless. I feel weak. Oh, wait, is that thought true? If it's not, you can delete it. You can just decide it's not true. You can restate it. Sometimes thoughts are kind of true, but not exactly. So then you can restate it. Radically Unstuck Consulting, I talk about having a thoughts journal and downloading basically your thoughts into a journal. Take like 2 minutes and write down all of your thoughts and then look through the thoughts and see what I call the inner garden. What does the inner garden look like? Is it full of cynicism? Is it full of negative thoughts? Is it, mean? And then you go through and you look at all them thoughts and say, this one's not true. This one's not true. This one's not true. And then some of them you may restate. And then some of them you may take and the ones that say, I'm a great father, I'm a great dad, people like me, blah, blah, blah. You take those, and then you might turn those into your morning affirmations maybe. But the point is that you are completely capable of big things. Just get past that fear. Just work to move past the fear. And that's it. On the other side of the fear, on the other side of your comfort zone is where life happens. So again, my name is Brian Forsyth, Radically Unstuck Consulting, and please reach out if I can help you get up your mountain. I have a link on my profile that will take you to free training on the tough method, kind of a compass for your life. You can use it for a lot of different things, so it's free. Just go there. Or you can go to radicallyunstuck.com. That'll take you to the tough method training. With that, peace, y'all.